Hello, and a very warm welcome to all of you who share a passion for the natural world. My name is Dr. Jamie Carter, and today we embark on a truly special journey into the realm of color and flight. The color blue in the animal kingdom is often not a pigment at all, but a trick of the light, a structural marvel that scatters wavelengths to create the illusion of azure, sapphire, and indigo. It is a color that has captivated human imagination for millennia, symbolizing everything from tranquility to the vastness of the heavens. It is this very color that adorns some of our most enchanting avian neighbors. Today, we are setting our sights on 9 of the most stunning bluebirds you can find across the wild landscapes of our planet. From the familiar flash of a bluebird in a sunlit meadow to the secretive glimmer of a warbler high in the forest canopy, each of these creatures tells a unique story of survival, adaptation, and breathtaking beauty. We will delve into their lives, exploring not just their appearance, but the intricate behaviors and ecological roles that make them so very special. So I invite you to settle in, perhaps with a pair of binoculars close at hand, and prepare to be mesmerized. We will uncover fascinating facts about their songs, their nesting habits, and the remarkable journeys they undertake. We'll also share some guidance on where you might be fortunate enough to witness these feathered jewels for yourselves. The world of birds is one of constant discovery, and our exploration of its blue wonders begins now. Our journey begins with a creature that is, for many, the very embodiment of a bluebird, the eastern bluebird. The male is a truly spectacular sight, his head, back, and wings painted in a brilliant, almost luminous royal blue. This vibrant hue contrasts beautifully with a warm, rusty red throat and chest, and a clean white belly. It's a flash of color that can lift the spirits on even the grayest of days, a living jewel against the green canvas of a meadow. They are not birds of the deep, dark forest, but rather prefer open woodlands, orchards, and fields, where they can be seen perching gracefully on a fence post or a low branch, scanning the ground below for an unsuspecting insect. These birds are what we call cavity nesters. In a wilder, older world, they would seek out abandoned woodpecker holes or natural hollows in aging trees. However, they have adapted remarkably well to human presence, readily accepting the specially designed nest boxes that so many of us provide. This partnership has been crucial for their conservation. Inside the safety of this cavity, the female meticulously builds a soft cup of fine grasses and pine needles, a cradle for her pale blue eggs. For generations, the sight of an eastern bluebird has been seen as a harbinger of happiness and hope, a promise of spring's return and the renewal of life. Next, we encounter a bird that seems to have captured the very essence of a summer sky at dusk, the indigo bunting. The male, during the breeding season, is a vision of deep, iridescent indigo. What is truly remarkable is that he possesses no blue pigment whatsoever. His breathtaking color is a structural phenomenon. Microscopic structures on the surface of his feathers scatter and refract light, so that only the blue wavelengths are reflected back to our eyes. Depending on the angle of the sun, he can appear a brilliant cerulean, a deep violet, or in poor light, almost black. It is a dazzling display, a living prism flitting through the shrubbery. But his visual display is only half the story. The male indigo bunting is also a persistent and gifted vocalist. He will often find the highest perch in his territory, a treetop or a telephone wire, and sing for hours on end. His song is a complex, high-pitched series of paired notes, a cheerful, rambling melody that rings out across brushy fields and woodland edges. Each male has his own unique song, learned and refined in his youth. It is this tireless broadcast that declares his territory and attempts to woo a far more modestly dressed, brownish female, a testament to the sheer energy and dedication required to pass on his genes. Perhaps one of the most familiar and charismatic of our bluebirds is the blue jay. They are impossible to miss, with their noisy calls and their striking plumage of various blue shades, from soft powder blue to a vivid azure, accented with bold black and clean white markings. The jaunty crest upon its head, which it can raise or lower depending on its mood, gives it an air of confident intelligence, and for good reason. Blue jays are corvids, the family of birds that includes crows and ravens, and they are renowned for their sharp minds and complex social structures. They are problem solvers, capable of intricate thought and planning. This intelligence manifests in fascinating ways. Blue jays are master mimics, able to perfectly imitate the calls of other birds, particularly the piercing cry of a red-tailed hawk, a trick they may use to deceive other species and clear a crowded bird feeder for themselves. They have strong family bonds and communicate with one another using a vast repertoire of soft whistles, clicks, and gurgles, in addition to their famous JJ call. They are also known for their habit of caching acorns, playing a vital role as forest planters, even if they don't always remember where every single one of their treasures is buried. They are much more than just a pretty face. They are a dynamic and clever force in the woodland ecosystem. We now travel west, to the high-elevation grasslands and wide-open spaces, to find a bird that seems to be spun from the very fabric of the sky itself, the mountain bluebird. The male is an ethereal sight, cloaked entirely in a breathtaking, powdery sky blue. Unlike its eastern cousin, it lacks the rusty chest, presenting an unbroken vision of Celeste. To see one is to see a fragment of the clear mountain sky take flight, a startlingly pure and delicate color against the muted tones of sagebrush and alpine meadows. They are birds of vast landscapes, shunning the confines of the forest for open country with scattered trees. Their feeding behavior is as graceful as their appearance. A mountain bluebird will often hunt from a perch, like other bluebirds, but it is also an expert at hovering. It will hang in the air, its wings beating delicately, its head perfectly still as it scans the ground below for insects. Then it will drop, almost like a falling stone, to snatch its prey. As the seasons turn, these birds undertake impressive migrations. Flocks of them will descend from their high-altitude breeding grounds into lower elevations and southern plains for the winter, moving across the landscape like a flowing azure river, a truly unforgettable spectacle for any who are lucky enough to witness it. Now we turn our attention to a master of the air, the tree swallow. At first glance, you might see just a dark back and a white belly, but when the sun catches it just right, a breathtaking transformation occurs. The bird's back and head erupt in an iridescent, shimmering blue-green, like polished metal or deep ocean water. This is another marvel of structural color, constantly shifting and changing with the light as the bird wheels and dives through the air. They are the epitome of aerial grace, spending the majority of their waking hours on the wing, their long, pointed wings carving effortless patterns against the sky. Their entire life is geared towards this aerial existence. Tree swallows are insectivores, catching their meals, flies, beetles, and dragonflies in midair with incredible agility. They often hunt low over water, their reflections dancing on the surface of a pond or marsh as they snap up insects. Like bluebirds, they are cavity nesters and will readily use nest boxes, often forming bustling colonies. You may see dozens of these shimmering birds perched in a line on a wire near a nesting area, chattering to one another, a vibrant community of acrobats resting between performances. Their tireless pursuit of insects makes them not only beautiful, but also incredibly beneficial neighbors. Hidden amongst the tangled thickets and overgrown fields, we find a bird of a deeper, more reserved blue, the blue grosbeak. The male is a stunning, rich, deep blue all over, accented by two handsome, rusty brown wing bars. He is a stocky bird, and his most prominent feature, for which he is named, is his massive, conical beak. This powerful tool is perfectly designed for its purpose, crushing the hard shells of seeds, particularly those of grasses and grains, which form a large part of its diet. It can also make short work of large insects like grasshoppers. Despite his brilliant color and powerful build, the blue grovebeak is often a secretive and shy creature, more frequently heard than seen. He prefers to stay low in dense, shrubby cover, making him a rewarding challenge for patient birdwatchers. His song, however, is anything but shy. Delivered from a concealed perch, it is a beautiful, rich, and warbling melody, a series of rising and falling notes that carries surprisingly far. Finding the source of this beautiful music, and being rewarded with a glimpse of that deep blue plumage, is one of the quiet triumphs of birding, a moment of connection with the more hidden corners of the natural world. Venturing into the cool, evergreen forests of the West, we are likely to be greeted, often quite loudly, by the Steller's jay. This striking bird is a study in dramatic contrasts. Its front half, including a magnificent spiky black crest, is a deep, sooty black, which then fades into a brilliant dark cobalt blue on its wings, back, and tail. It is the Western counterpart to the blue jay, sharing its intelligence and audacity, but with a wilder, more mountainous spirit. They are the unmistakable voice and character of the coniferous forests they call home. Steller's jays are famously bold and inquisitive, a familiar sight at campgrounds and picnic areas, where they are always on the lookout for an unattended snack. This boldness is backed by a sharp intellect. Like their eastern cousins, they are excellent mimics, capable of imitating not only other birds but also squirrels and even mechanical sounds. They are social birds, often traveling in noisy, boisterous family groups, their harsh, scolding calls echoing through the pines. They are opportunists and survivors, their vibrant blue and black plumage a flash of defiant life against the deep green of the forest and the white of the mountain snow. We now lift our gaze high into the treetops to the uppermost canopy of mature, deciduous forests, in search of a tiny and increasingly rare gem, the cerulean warbler. The male is aptly named, a breathtaking sky blue above with a clean white throat and a thin dark necklace across his chest. To see one is a challenge. They are small, fast-moving, and live their lives almost exclusively in the leafy stratosphere, flitting from branch to branch in a way that makes them fiendishly difficult to track. For many birders, even a fleeting glimpse of this azure jewel is a lifetime goal. Their song, a buzzy, ascending trill, is often the only clue to their presence high above. But this beautiful bird faces a perilous future. The cerulean warbler has experienced one of the steepest population declines of any North American songbird. This is largely due to the loss of the large, unbroken tracts of old-growth forest they depend on for breeding. Furthermore, they undertake a monumental migration, flying thousands of miles to wintering grounds in the Andes Mountains of South America, facing countless dangers along the way. The fate of this tiny sky blue bird is inextricably linked to the health of our hemisphere's forests. Our final bird brings us back to the open woodlands and farmlands, this time in the American West. Here we find the western bluebird, a close relative of the eastern bluebird, but with its own distinct charm. The male has a deep, rich cobalt blue on his head, throat, and back. What sets him apart is that this blue extends down onto his throat, and he often sports a patch of chestnut brown on his upper back, like a small shawl, in addition to his rusty chest. He is perhaps a slightly more subdued and darker-hued bird than his eastern cousin, but no less beautiful for it. Like all bluebirds, they are cavity nesters and appreciate nest boxes. Their diet is primarily insects, which they often hunt from a low perch, dropping to the ground to snatch a grasshopper or beetle. This ground foraging behavior makes them quite conspicuous in open areas. During the non-breeding season, western bluebirds become highly social, forming large, chattering flocks that roam the landscape in search of berries and leftover insects. To come across one of these winter flocks, with dozens of birds flashing their deep blue and rusty colors in the soft light, is a wonderfully cheerful sight, a final, gentle flourish in our tour of blue. And so, our exploration of these 9 stunning bluebirds comes to a close. From the familiar greeting of an eastern bluebird to the fleeting treetop glimpse of a cerulean warbler, we have seen how the color blue manifests in so many wondrous forms across the avian world. Each bird is a masterpiece of evolution, a unique combination of color, song, and behavior, perfectly suited to its own corner of the planet. They remind us that beauty in nature is not merely decorative, it is deeply intertwined with the very story of survival. Thank you so much for joining us on this colorful and fascinating journey. The world of birds is endlessly rewarding, and there is always something new to discover, whether in a remote wilderness or your own back garden. I hope this has inspired you to look a little closer at the feathered lives unfolding all around us. If you enjoyed our exploration and would like to continue learning, please do consider showing your support by liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more facts, stories, and tips from the natural world. The quest for discovery never truly ends. There are countless other bluebirds across the globe, each with its own story. We would love to hear from you. Please let us know in the comments below which of these birds was your favorite, or which bluebird you now hope to spot on your next adventure. Until next time, keep your eyes on the skies and listen for the song.